Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So we are continuing to discuss from the 18th chapter, and in this section we see how much Krishna is emphasizing on how the modes influence or control all activities of everyone in this human form of life. How much the influence of mode is there? So in this section, what we discussed, first we discussed, Krishna spoke about jnana, then he spoke about karma, and then he spoke about karta, or the doership. So in so many verses, what we are saying, Krishna is emphasizing the performer, or one who is action is in the mode of goodness, is devoid of sense of doership. Very important criteria. And it does. If there is no doership, then there is duty. At the level of doership, one cannot do duty. Doership means desire. This is another subtle. The level of consciousness of doership means he is satisfying his desire. Self-satisfaction and self-gratification. So we saw in the yesterday's discussion, Krishna was speaking about the performer or the doer in the three modes, and particularly for the mode of ignorance. What Krishna spoke was Ayuktaha prakrti stabdaha Sashto neshkrito alasaha Vishadi dirgha sutri cha. Very interesting word is dirgha sutri. Looks as if something good, but one who is a procrastinator. In our practice of Krishna consciousness, we see this inherent procrastinating nature which is prevailing in us. You all understand what is procrastinating now. What we should do, what we are doing, we are deferring, or we are delaying, or we are neglecting. And also with procrastinating, the person is stabda, which is obstinate. Very difficult for him to improve or to advance. Why? Because he is on the level of ahankara. Such a karta is tamasa. But till the time others join, we can take 1 minute. I was referring to Rukmini Krishna Prabhu's discourse. Prabhuji gave two sessions on this chapter. So I was hearing some session. Very, very deep insight he has, understanding of Bhagavad-gita. Very few people have seen such understanding of Bhagavad-gita. So Prabhuji was stirring us. He was saying that take a minute and think about those actions which we know in Krishna consciousness is mandatory for us, is must for us, is good for our progress of Krishna consciousness. But somehow or the other, we are not acting upon, or we are procrastinating, we are delaying, we are neglecting, we are ignoring, or we are covering. And please participate. Pranav, what do you speak? One activity.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, we should not be doing, but still because of this tendency or habit we are dragging. Firstly, how many believe that we have the tendency of procrastination in our practice? Others are pure soul.
Yes, Prabhuji, I have the tendency.
Okay, will you share? 3 things. What is that act? How much damage it is doing to me? And if I change, how I can advance? Yeah, Prabhu, time is less. In this month, we have to complete the 18th chapter. Boliye. Who would like to volunteer first? Okay, if you want to think and take more time, up to you. No such activity we are doing of procrastinating. We're very prompt.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Correct. But I was very inspired by Ravindra Madhusudan Prabhu and Priyanka Anuradha Mataji. In their area, the internet is down for another week, 10 days. So they brought another parallel connection. How did you manage? First, you now this is certainly the reverse of procrastination. This is promptness. How did you manage this?
Actually, Prabhu, earlier we have taken this Wi-Fi connection in the Corona period, but we have disconnected because of its cost, due to cost. क्योंकि हम मोबाइल पे ही काम हो जाता था, तो हमें उसको बंद कर दिए थे. तो मैंने आज ही कई लोगों को पूछा कि आप लोगों का भी नेटवर्क चल रहा है क्या है, बोला हर जगह पे बंद है. तो बोला प्रभु जी आपने वाईफाई ले लो, और वाईफाई जो है चलता है. मैंने 2-3 लोगों को पूछा, तो हमारे पास ऑलरेडी तो था, लेकिन हमें उसको 2 साल से उसको बंद करके रखे थे. तो हमें उसको कोशिश किया, फिर रिचार्ज करवाया, उसको चेकिंग किया, तो ऑटोमेटिक चल गया वो किसी प्रकार से.
और क्यों कराया? क्या करना था? सही बता.
प्रभु जी हमें 2 दिन से ना सुन पा रहे थे, कुछ नहीं कर पा रहे थे. इसलिए जो है हमें पहले सोचा कि हम किसी प्रकार से मिलेगा. मैं कई जगह पे पूछा कैसे कर रहे आप लोग, चल रहा है नहीं चल रहा है, क्या हो रहा है, क्योंकि मुझे बोला गया कि आगे कई दिन तक नहीं चलेगा, तो इतना दिन हमारा तो नहीं चलेगा. 1-2 दिन तो हम किस प्रकार से अरेंज कर लिए, मैनेज कर लिए, जो भी कुछ नहीं हो पा रहा है, इसलिए हमें पूछा. तो फिर
एक सेकेंड. मैंने भी आज जब प्रियंका अनुराधा जी का मैंने देखा, उन्होंने साधना कार्ड भेजा व्हाट्सएप पे, तो मैंने उनको लिखा कि आपका इंटरनेट चालू हो गया. तब उन्होंने मुझे लिखा कि नहीं प्रभु जी, इंटरनेट तो डाउन ही है और अभी 6 अगस्त तक डाउन रहेगा, हमने वाईफाई चला लिया. दिस इज कॉल्ड कमिटमेंट. वेरी इंस्पायरिंग. बोलिए. जैसे आपने इसके लिए प्रयास किया, ऐसे ही भक्ति में हमारे पास हमेशा लौल्यम होना चाहिए. और जिस चीज के लिए भी लौल्यम होगा, भक्ति के किसी भी अंग के लिए, आप देखेंगे कृष्ण उस पर विशेष कृपा करेंगे. There will be special mercy will be bestowed by Krishna, because Krishna wants to see how much we are intrinsically desiring to serve him or to know him. He will immediately respond.
Yes,
बोलिए.
हमें जैसे बताया जाता है कि आपसे भी सुनते हैं, महाराज से भी सुनते हैं, हर क्लास में हमें ये सुनने मिलता है, वी शुड हैव टू हियर एंड रीड. रीडिंग करना प्रभुपाद का बुक्स है, बहुत जरूरी है. लेकिन मेरा सबसे बड़ा ये कमी है कि मैं पढ़ नहीं पाता हूँ सही से. और क्लास तो हियरिंग करते हैं, एक बार में कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है तो दोबारा ना कुछ पूछने के लिए कोशिश करता हूँ, या कि कुछ डाउट होता है तो अगेन सुनते हैं, तो कुछ क्वेश्चन भी रेज होता है लेकिन दोबारा सुन भी नहीं पाता हूँ। ये मेरा सबसे बड़ा मैं कई दिन से कोशिश तो कर रहा हूँ। और दूसरा सेकंड थिंग इज, जो कोरोना था मैं हर दिन राइट अप लिख रहा था। मतलब ऐसा कोई भरोसा नहीं है, उस पीरियड में जितना भी चैप्टर कंप्लीट हुआ सबको मैंने लिखा हूँ। लेकिन जैसे ही कोरोना खत्म हो गया मेरा लिखा भी कोरोना के साथ शायद चला गया है।
नहीं, एंगेज हो गए ना कोरोना में, तो यू आर प्रैक्टिसिंग फ्रॉम होम, वर्क फ्रॉम होम था,
जी पू।
वर्क फ्रॉम ऑफिस है। देखिए
लेकिन
2 सॉल्यूशंस हैं इसके। आज का क्लास डिफरेंट है। हाँ, मैं बहुत इंस्पायर हुआ बिल्कुल कृष्ण प्रभु जी से। हमेशा हमें अपने टीचर्स की गाइडेंस में रहना चाहिए, उनके शेल्टर में रहना चाहिए। मैं सुन रहा था, मैं ये देख रहा था कि प्रभु जी ने कैसे 2 सेशन में पूरा 18 चैप्टर ले लिया और ऑलमोस्ट एक वर्ष लिया उन्होंने। प्योरिटी है उनका, और बहुत एक्सप्लेन भी किया, डेप्थ में एक्सप्लेन भी किया सब भक्तों के साथ। तो प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन में जो चीज हमारे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, 2 एस्पेक्ट है, अर्जेंट एंड इम्पोर्टेंट। कुछ चीजें ऐसी अर्जेंट है एंड अनइम्पोर्टेंट है, तो दैट इज क्राइसिस। अर्जेंट एंड इम्पोर्टेंट मीन्स कि वो हमारे एडवांटेज के लिए है और उसके बिना हमारा डिसएडवांटेज होगा। तो सुबह सबसे पहले आप वो कार्य कर लीजिए। आप सुबह 15 मिनट आप अपना फिक्स कर लीजिए, से 6 to 6:15 यू विल रीड। ज्यादा कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है, जो चैप्टर्स हम पढ़ रहे हैं वही चैप्टर दोबारा पढ़िए, उन्हीं को पढ़िए, उन्हीं वर्सेस को पढ़िए। मैं कई बार देखता हूँ साधना कार्ड, वी आर स्टडिंग 18 चैप्टर एंड द डिवोटी इज स्टडिंग फर्स्ट चैप्टर। अरे डू वी हैव सो मच ऑफ storage in our heart, then we can accommodate both. That means we are accommodating nothing. We are just wasting time. जो हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं अगर उसी को हम दोबारा पढ़ेंगे तो there is much more possibility for good understanding and assimilation. और राइटिंग के लिए आप केवल 5 मिनट दीजिए, 6 से 6:15 पढ़िए, 5 मिनट में जो आपको लिखना है लिख दीजिए, फिनिश। 2 पॉइंट 3 पॉइंट जो भी लिखना है लिख दीजिए। एटलीस्ट 1 पॉइंट डिस्कवरी का लिखिए, 1 अंडरस्टैंडिंग और 1 एप्लीकेशन, बस। 5 मिनट से ज्यादा नहीं लगेगा। इस तरह से विल बी एबल टू कम आउट ऑफ व्हाट वी आर नॉट एबल टू डू। वी नो बट वी आर नॉट एबल टू डू, एंड यू कैन शेयर दैट। आपका राइटिंग अच्छा है, आपके पास मोबाइल फोन है, पिक्चर लीजिए और शेयर कर दी, ग्रेजुअली अपने आप वो सही होने लगेगा। अभी देखो देवदत्त लिख रही है, शी इज cultivating the habit of writing. Very good. Krishna is giving intelligence, Krishna is giving words. To the extent we make extra effort, to that extent we get extra mercy of Krishna. Okay, thank you very much for sharing. बाकी लोग, बाकी सब प्योर सोल्स हैं, कुछ प्रोक्रेस्टिनेट नहीं करते, सब परफेक्ट प्रैक्टिस चल रही है। यस मनोराम प्रभु।
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, I think I am having many of the lackings, Prabhuji, but most importantly is that one procrastination is that I am not able to fix up my sleeping time. So every day I think that tomorrow I'll do it, the next day I'll do it, but the timing is I am not able to fix it, Prabhuji. So, and that hampers actually chanting quality, everything it hampers. So I think it's a very big hindrance, Prabhuji.
You should do one thing, don't leave anything after the class. Don't try to study after the class. Don't try to take meals after the class. After the class, you just next 10 to 15 minutes, you should have a cutoff time of sleeping by 9:30. Sleep. Drop everything. This world will not change, Baba. If you don't see, and the biggest trap for all of us, including me, myself, I also feel, is this Android phone. It sucks away our time. So make it a point that after 9:15, I will not touch the phone. Just do this one thing. I will not touch the phone after 9:15. And keep an alarm of 4:30. Even if you sleep at 10 and you wake up at 4:30, 6.5 hours is more than sufficient. Prabhupada says, anyone who sleeps more than 6 hours is definitely in the mode of ignorance. You know where Prabhupada has said that? Yukta hara viharasya, yukta teshtasha kurvasu, yukta swapna bodhasya, yogi bhavati duktaha. 5th chapter. So this problem is there with most of the devotees who are sending sadhana card. Why they are afraid of sending the sadhana card? Because they cannot wake up. Why they cannot wake up? Because they don't sleep in time. Why they don't sleep in time? Because the influence of lower mode is there. What do you do? What productive work do you do after 9? It is only our attachment and our obstinacy. So we have to give up both. Just switch off the mobile phone. If your control is not that much, just switch off. Just if you see the phone, it will entangle you. By the time you realize, your half an hour, 45 minutes will be gone. And then you will be late as usual. So do that. Do that rigidly. Don't make compromise. Do that continuously for 10 days, it will be over. I know some of our brahmacharis. You know that brahmachari who came with me, Ishwar Madhav Prabhu? 9 o'clock he left. I told him the class will be over in 5 minutes. He said, Prabhu, my time for sleep is 9. And he left me. Of course, he left all of you and he left me also. This is what a practitioner should be. My respect for him has gone up. Not my friendship has been broken with him. It is foolishness. And such foolish friends, they are actually not your friend. Better to remain off from their company, who are non-regulated. So please try that. Try to sleep by 10. So Krishna is speaking. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyaham jagrati samyam. That which is the time of awakening for the introvert sage is the time of sleeping for the whole world. Anyone who is sleeping in Brahma Murta definitely is not just in the mode of ignorance, but he is accumulating sin. So, very important. That is why we cannot advance. Human life is not meant for sleeping and eating. That is animal life. Eat less. Why you have to eat so much? Particularly after 6 o'clock, it should be very less eating. If you eat less, you will see you will be able to easily wake up. I normally don't eat at all after 6. Even if I come to IRA, I don't eat. Whatever feast they would prepare. It's not, because it will disturb my sadhana. Again, if we are again saddled in eating and sleeping, then what advancement can we make? So first thing to restrict is eating. Eat less. We should live to eat. No, we should eat to live. The world is living to eat, but we should eat to live. You see, Goswamis hardly ate. So restrict eating, regulate eating, That will give you help in regulating your sleep. And don't remain awake. What do you have to do in the night? The Nishachar, those who are awake in the night, they are called Nishachar, demoniac. So it will help you. This is Krishna is speaking. Ayuktaha prakata staptaha. Prakata means who is materialistic. If we do any spiritual program after 9, then okay, I'll take one more. If someone is genuine, please speak. If you're really interested to relieve himself from the situation where he is. Yes, there should go.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Prabhuji, there are many things
Foremost thing, one item which you feel is,
Yes, Prabhuji.
you're not able to overcome.
I have one desire to attend the morning program in Satvik Mess.
You have the desire to attend morning program?
To conduct it.
No, come again. I could not, it is not clear.
Yes, Prabhuji. In the morning program, Prabhuji, morning program in IRI. So I wanted to have with the new student, those who are interested, but it is getting procrastinated. I mean, when I will call them and when I will be ready timely so that I can attend.
You reach there by 8:30. Simple. I have so many times requested you. Between 5 to 8:30, you have your program. Your 8:15, you have your program in your house. And from 8:30 to 9, you have there, and after 9, you go to your department after having breakfast. Guru Maharaj always says, faith comes from following. Modes will change when you make it happen. How you'll make it happen? By actually doing it. So break this shackle. Break this shackle. Prabhupada is saying, they are very lazy even though they have some duty. They do not do it properly. And they put it aside to be done later. Referring to last lines of the purport in verse number 28, which we discussed yesterday. Therefore, they appear to be morose. They procrastinate anything which can be done in an hour. They drag on for years. Such workers are situated in the mode of ignorance. So Krishna continues to speak that how mode controls each and every aspect of a conditioned soul. Now Krishna will speak from 29th verse on two other subjects. What is that? Verse number 29. Buddhir vedam dhritischeva punata stri vidam shuno prochamanam sheshena pithakvena dhananjaya. So Krishna is speaking about buddhi, which is intelligence, and bhedam. Bhedam means the difference based on the three modes. And Krishna is always speaking of dhriti, of steadiness or determination. Also, eva guna trividham. That is also divided in three divisions. So Krishna is saying, O winner of wealth, he is calling Arjuna as Dhananjaya. Please listen as I tell you in detail of the different kinds of understanding. Understanding comes from intelligence. Because I'm talking about intelligence, which is buddhi, and determination, which is dhriti, according to the three modes of material nature. Again, so Krishna is defining purport. Now, after explaining knowledge, which is jnanam, the object of knowledge, Gītā, and the knower in three different divisions according to the mode of material nature. What is the knower? What was the term, Sanskrit term? Jnanam Gītā. Who remembers without seeing the book? Parignata. Yes, there she go.
Karta.
No. See, Karta came in between, where Krishna was speaking about the three constituents. Yeah. Please remember what Krishna is speaking in what context. Initially, he started to explain three things. It is Jnanam, Gītā, and Parignata. And in that he explained Karta and also the Karma. So now, after explaining knowledge of the object of knowledge and the knower in three different divisions according to modes of material nature, the Lord is explaining the intelligence and determination of the worker in the same way. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha karya karye bhaya bhaye bandham moksham cha ye veti buddhi sa partha satviki. So one who is in the mode of goodness, whose intelligence is in the mode of goodness. So what he knows? Pravrittim. Pravrittim means what needs to be done. And nivrittim means what needs to be given up, or what needs never to be done. O son of Partha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done. Then karya, akarya, bhaya bhayo. So he also knows which work to do and which work not to do. Then bhaya and abhayo. What will bring fear and what is not to be feared. What is binding bandha and what is liberating moksha. Cha ya veti. One who knows this with all details and with all clarity and conviction. Buddhi sa partha satviki is in the mode of goodness. With intelligence is in the mode of goodness. So what is to be done? All those activities which will lead us to Krishna consciousness. What is the principle? What is the principle of pravritti and nivritti? Why only Dayashil Prabhu has to speak? Why not others? Pranav, what is the principle of pravrittim and nivritti?
In the context of Krishna consciousness, Prabhuji, pravritti is to follow the regulation of the, and the nivritti, we have to give up the material desires, and so that our mode can be uplifted from lower modes to higher.
What is that pravritti? What is the pravritti? Pravritti cha nivrittim cha. See how intelligent is our Acharya. We will see now that principle that he is giving, how much is based on this verse of Buddhi and Dhriti. Yes, Ramindra Madhusudan Prabhu.
प्रभु जी हमें एलियर क्लासेस में पढ़े थे कि अनुकूलस्य संकल्प
Yeah.
प्रतिकूल
Anukulasya sankalpaha. That sankalp shakti is coming from where? Both from Buddhi and from Buddhi. So that which is favorable for Krishna consciousness, that should be our pravritti. Anukulasya sankalpaha. And pratikulasya varjanam, this nivritti. Touching mobile phone after 9 is what? Nivritti. Also in our sadhana time, we should not. Actually, we should keep the phone off. Learn to keep the mobile phone off. It's a big sign of detachment. It is even difficult than going and meditating in Himalaya. Keeping your mobile phone off. Just open between 10 to 6. That is most ideal standard. You keep it only for your work. If they can develop this detachment of switching off the mobile phone, not looking at it. A major chunk of passion and ignorance from our character and consciousness can be immediately removed. Just switch it off. Don't open it. Don't touch it. If it is dead, then what you will see? If it is switched off, then what you will do? And karya bhaya bhayo. He is in the mode of goodness. So there should not be bhaya. But why there is bhaya? Can anyone explain? Where the buddhi is satviki, where there is bhaya? He should be free of bhaya. But Krishna is speaking here. Kare bhaya bhaya. What is that fear? What is to be feared and what is not to be feared? Where is the question of fear if one is in the mode of goodness? What fear is Krishna talking about? Yes, Manoram Prabhu?
Prabhuji, the fear will be not to fall down from the standards practice.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. So he's awake. He's alert. He's awake. He's alert. He wants to give up. First thing is bad association, materialistic association, where there is all possibility of fall down. He wants to give up all those association where there is a possibility where he will fall from the standards, where he will not be able to practice it. What else? Some of you just don't, participate at all. You just sit back. Yes, Ramindra Prabhu?
Prabhuji, fear from the Vaishnava aparadh.
Very good. Because it will choke up. It will choke up our Bhakti Lata Beach. Today we have a very distinguished personality in our temple. Very big source of inspiration for me. His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj. And he gave a wonderful class today. If you get time, please hear that class. How the Vaishnava aparadh can choke up all our devotional service, all our devotional practice, our devotional life. So he knows which area. There is a saying in English, Fools rush in where angels fear. Have you heard? Devadatt, have you heard? No, it is there. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. That is the full sin. Foolish people are interested to do all those activity which is harmful for him. But an intelligent man, he is always aloof, he is always alert, he is always distant, he is fearful of doing that. What is the biggest fear? Prabhupada said, for a spiritual practitioner, what is the biggest fear that he must have? Ganesh.
Try to remember Lord's at the time of death.
Come again?
Try to remember Lord at the time of death.
What is the fear? We have discussed it chapter. Oh, you have to mute. There is echo from your side. Prabhupada said it is not in our hand. And devotees do not fear about remembering Krishna. Tasmat sarveshi kaleshu yog yukto bhava arjuna. Prabhupada is refuting in that. 8.27. Yes, there Shri Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, separation from the devotee association.
True. Separation from. That is what Ramananda Raya said. That what is the biggest source of unhappiness? What is the fear? Prabhupada says devotees should be very fearful. One should have healthy fear for you have not heard Prabhupada lectures.
From fall down.
From Maya. We should have very healthy fear of Maya. How Maya can trap us, entangle us, and force us for fall down. So performing action in terms of the directions of the scripture is called pravritti, or executing action that deserve to be performed. And actions which are so directed are not to be performed. One who does not know the scripture direction becomes entangled in the actions and the actions of work. Understanding which discriminates by intelligence is situated in the mode of goodness. See the next verse, 31st. Yaya dharmam adharmam cha karyam eva cha ayatva prajanati buddhi sa partha rajasi. Yaya dharmam adharmam cha and karyam cha akaryam eva cha. O son of Pritha, that understanding which cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion, between action that should be done and action should not be done, is in the mode of passion. Just see, it is just opposed to what is in the mode of goodness. There also the word is karya, akarya. Here also is karyam, akarya. But it is not able to distinguish. Mode of passion means colored consciousness. Confused. Person in the mode of passion is always confused. He cannot decide, or rather he should not decide. Why? Because he will do the opposite. He will harm himself. Not just in the mode of ignorance. And what is the characteristic of intelligence in the mode of ignorance? Adharmam dharmam itiya manyate tam savrita sarvatharma vipritam sya buddhi sa partamasa. So, adharmam dharmam iti. Their understanding which considers irreligion to be religion. What was the difference between passion and now in ignorance? Both the word is same. Dharmam adharmam. There he is not able to decide. It cannot distinguish. But here he has already decided. There is no confusion. Why? Because he considers adharma to be dharma and he considers dharma to be adharma. That understanding which considers irreligion to be religion and religion to be irreligion. Under the spell of illusion and darkness. Manyate tamasa vritti. Sarv arthan viparita and strives always in wrong direction of partha is in the mode of ignorance. Intelligence in the mode of ignorance is always working in the opposite way it should. It accepts religion which are not actually religions and rejects actual religion. Man in ignorance understands a great soul to be a common man and accepts a common man as a great soul. One good example is, I saw it yesterday or day before yesterday in our temple. I don't want to name the person. He came to our temple. And so many people from all walks of life, they wanted to come and have his darshan. That says that. Accepts a common man as a great soul. And I will share that video, but he was not a common man. He was a sensible man. But the way he met Guru Maharaj is an eye-opener for his disciples. Because we also do not know what is the position of Guru Maharaj. He was again and again falling in the feet of Guru Maharaj and seeking his blessings. And he clearly told that this was the purpose of my coming, to have your audience and your blessings. And Guru Maharaj is there every day in Mangal Arati, worshipping their Lordship. How many are coming? Guru Maharaj is there mostly on Sunday giving classes, giving the insight of what the scriptures are speaking. How many are coming? How many are hearing and applying? Which mode? Populism means mode of ignorance. Because to be able to know what is actually dharma, you require mode of goodness. Where you can get mode of goodness? Is it available in the market? No. Not available. So Krishna is speaking. Man in ignorance understand a great soul to be a common man and accept a common man to be a great soul. They think truth to be untruth. Don't go by side hits and all. I was seeing Rukmini Krishna Prabhuji's lecture, which is the most refined lecture in the entire mantra of life series. It has minimum hits. What a shame. Not on him, for the viewers. They do not know what is discrimination. They do not know what is intelligence, what is dharma, what is adharma. Most of the people, the biggest culprit today of our illusion is this social media. And those devotees who are not able to come and hear, They are very active on social media. They'll be knowing what is happening in the social media, but they do not know what is happening in their own life. How much they are influenced by the mode of ignorance. They think truth to be untruth and accept untruth as truth. In all activities, they simply take the wrong path. Therefore, their intelligence is in the mode of ignorance. So I'll stop here. We have covered intelligence in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Most importantly, in the mode of goodness, Krishna is speaking, one can distinguish and one is determined to do what ought to be done. And he is fearful of not performing which should not be done. He is fearful of not performing of adharma. It's very fearful. Okay. Any question so far on intelligence in the three modes? How we can sharpen our intelligence, bring our intelligence to the mode of goodness? By study of scriptures, by study of Shastra. Okay, then we'll recite. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Urdhvamulam Madhashakam Ashwatham Prahuravya Chandamsi Yas Parnani Yastam Veda Saveda Ved Adascha Urdham Pratatastha Shakha Guna Pravidya Vishaya Pravala Adascha Mulani Anushantatani Karma Nubandheni Manushya Loke Narupamase Tatopalabhyate Nanto Nachadhir Nacha Sampratishta Ashvatyenam Savirudha Moolam Asanga Shastrena Drinena Chitva Tata Padam Tat Parimargitavyam Yasmin Gatana Nivartanti Bhuya Tameva Chadyam Purusham Prapadde Yata Pravritti Prasata Purani Nirmana Moha Jita Sangha Dosha Adhyatma Nitya Vinivritta Kama Dande Vimukta Sukha Dukha Sange Gachanti Amudha Padama Vyayata Na Tadbhasate Suryo Na Shashanko Na Pavaka Yadgatva Na Nivartante Tadhama Paramamava Mamevamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Manashasthani Indriyani Prakrti Sthane Kashati Shariram Yadavapnoti Yachapi Utramata Ishvara Grahatvetani Samyati Vayu Gandhani Vase Shotram Chakshus Parshanam Cha Rasanam Grahanam Evacha Adhisthaya Manaschayam Vishayanupasevate Utkramantam Stitam Vapi Unjanan Va Gunanvitam Vimurana Pashyanti Pashyanti Jnana Chakshusha Yatanto Yoginashchenam Pashyanti Atmani Avastitam Yatanto Api Atmitatmano Nenam Pashyanti Achetasa Yadaditya Gatam Tejo Jagat Bhasyate Akhilam Yat Chandrapati Yat Chagno Tat Tejo Vidhi Mamakam Gama Vishya Cha Bhutani धारयामि अहं सा पुष्णामि चौषधि सर्वा सुम भूत्वा रसात्मका अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रिता प्राणापान समायुक्ता पचामि अन्नं चतुर्विधा सर्वस्य चाहं हृदसन्निविष्टो मत्तस्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृद्वेदविदेव चाहम् द्वाइमा पुरुषो लोके शरश्चाक्षरेव च शर सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थो अक्षरुच्यते उत्तमा पुरुषस्तु अन्या परमात्मेति उदारता य लोके त्रयमाविश्य बिभर्ति अव्यय ईश्वर यस्मात् शरमतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमा तोऽस्मि लोकवेदे च प्रतीतः पुरुषोत्तमा यो मामेवं सम्मूढो जानाति पुरुषोत्तमा स सर्वविद भजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदमुक्त्वा मया नघा एतत् बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमानः स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत ओम तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्याय योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्ण अर्जुन संवादे पंचदशो अध्याय पुरुषोत्तम योग नाम हरे कृष्ण so please go through. I can assure you, just give 15 minutes of revision, just 15 minutes, and you see the difference. Hare Krishna.